for anyone who is an actual 5D mystic, our entire 8+ billion people, an infinite galaxy of galaxy of galaxy of galaxy of galaxy energies, are family. The biggest difference, 5D, it's unconditional love. It's the awareness of self. It's Purusha, because you have an integrated brain, which means you use your left and right, and you're able to do an inner growth contemplative moment. Integration of the brain is studied by our lovely group of actual professionals who have degrees and do empirical studies and prove the inner well-being of people is with integration of the brain. So it means something to people who understand that we have this thing and that there are people who can explain to you how it works. Now, our lovely ancients, whether in the spiritual, metaphysics, esotericism, that lovely in-between holistic community, or the spirituality, which I personally only get from Sadhguru, because that's my main go-to, so there's that. The ancients, again, use and have a lot of great information, does not delete the science stuff. So again, the science and spirituality, they're merging, because really one gave answers to things, the other is able to prove and disprove. Quantum physics is one of those fields. So some people, they think that bringing together human, spiritual, and spirituality elements is confusing. That's 4D land, and that's people who are only using their left mode, because apparently they don't have an integrated brain, because it's the minute that an adaptive child, because see, that's an egoic adaptive child emotional response to somebody expressing their own idea, somebody coming at you with, here, let me tell you my own thoughts and opinions, which contrast exactly what you just said, and let me now try to prove that I'm right. So these types of interactions, for a 5D mystic, we enjoy them because we get to know another piece of consciousness. Because see, we're going to give the 2-year-old the floor, and we're not even yet in the actual part of when we have people who have suffering. So here's where there's random, just day-to-day behavior people that randomly just want to give you, let me teach you about the life that you're not. And it's like, okay, thank you very much for that highlight of the day. While we do intellectually know what we're speaking about and saying, we just don't be rude, to the 2-year-old who needs the floor. Now, again, they have their group, which is why, as they spell out to us all their confirmation bias, and we're like, okay, fascinating, cool, because you just shared a buttload of piece of information that I had no idea existed, and you connected them in a way that I never would have thought a million years, because my brain is not your brain, my body's not your body, and your name is different than my name. So, okay, 5D mystics, we love pokety poke, love, 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 and when we're getting poked in ways that aren't really nice, we don't talk about our family with the word evil or devil, because we know everybody was a 0-year-old. And a 5D mystic, it's here, right here, independently from the mystic term that we know, because I definitely never would have thought I'd be using this term, but I am for a reason. So as we move forward with the content, there's going to be specific channeled guidance only for the 5D mystics, because I know you don't have it. And it's very unfortunate that 4D bandwidth keeps talking about our family as energy vampires, dark auras, as soul contracts needing to come to an end, karmics here and karmics there, people doing, what is it called again? Let me do the, trying to disengage from spreading any false and unnecessary rumors. But if you do believe somebody can curse you, there you go. So if you are still one of those people who believes if you walk underneath the ladder, something's horrible is going to happen, I can't do anything about it, nor can anybody else. But what I can say is that 5D mystics know the power of this, because they will know inner growth in their mind. And if they don't, they will get here at a certain point and realize, wow, why did I wait so long to learn how to use my cortex, my limbic system, and my brainstem and do neurofeedback without thinking of myself as a machine? Because we're not a machine. I'm a body. I have skin, muscle, whatever this is, right? It's the earth. Luckily for us, we're organic. And people love to talk about upgrades. What they don't talk about is trauma memory and the fact that it's a personal journey. And that's why we have a group of beautiful, amazing specialists. They're called therapists. They know a lot of things, the good ones, when it comes to trauma memory, somatics, and what else? The cognitive, but it's not just one, because you're an embodied brain. So people who don't understand these terms, and there are professionals who disregard completely the field of somatics, it's unfortunate. They also completely disregard the entire field that talks about trauma memory. In fact, so much so that, again, people want to tell other people who are knowledgeable that, No, I learned about the 3 brains, and I didn't hear about the trauma memory being stored in the bones, tissues, and the muscles. So since my source didn't give it to me, wherever you're getting it from, it's like, okay, again, the little adaptive child wanting to do a little list of things. We don't do lists. We don't need to prove our points. We're not trying to prove anything. We're just having social time. Social time means you and I really are either entertaining each other or we're not. And proving isn't entertaining. That sounds more like I should be in the public, maybe debate, I don't know, in a courtroom, somewhere else doing that. Like, that sounds like a lot of hard work. Again, the adaptive children don't know that they have insecure emotions. And right now I'm not talking about the ones who have actual adaptive child with the knowledge of what childhood trauma means, and then taking ownership of their charge states with the good psychotherapists who teach them very well how not to go into a room where there's a cashier who looks at you weird and you're like, I can't believe that cashier looked at me, or, oh, I must have done something. And I'm not teasing because these are serious things, but the good psychoeducators will tell you about what trauma memory is, and then they explain to you the process of how your body and brain works. And what I don't see is 4D people or 3D people or any people that are remotely, again, yelling, explaining things to people. Let's explain things to people. So when ascension energies, my lovely 5D mystics, come about, guess what I noticed comes up? And you know how 4D talks about it? DNA upgrades. That doesn't mean anything to you because you don't actually understand that trauma memory is personal, and it comes from your life of now. Is the first plane of existence that you have before you can even bother trying to navigate the realm. Really, if you're 5D anything, you're not going to navigate the realm of when you are having the depths of dimensions, astral travel. Anyone? Meeting your own other lives, anyone? I raise all my hands. I've been seeing a lot of my path. It was amazing when you get to tap into your own sphere. But a 5D mystic knows it's my imagination land, even though I know it's real, but I don't need to bring it here. It's 2023 is the year, and I'm busy trying to figure out how to, in 24 hours make money, have friends, whatever it is you're doing. You're living life. This is called living life without disregarding the mysticism. So the channeled guidance, some will be free content, some will not. And this is for 5D people, because instead of going to the 4D readers who tell you about soul contracts ending, karmics here, DNA upgrade, there's different ways that we can talk about what's happening, which is, if you have an adoptive child, let's begin by connecting yourself to your higher self, which means your prefrontal cortex, your third eye. And that means to be in equanimity, sitting with your likes and dislikes, your karma. Now, it's very straightforward for the ones of us who have secure attachment, which technically, according to statistics, should be about 50% of people. This is why I'm speaking this way, because the ones who are not in a secure attachment, they tend to eventually lead themselves to places that can either support them, or they live out their human suffering because they never notice that their inner wiring is actually longing to establish what is secure attachment. It's in our brain, according to the attachment researchers. I forget how they explain it, but it basically, the minute you're born, for the first 7 months of your life, it seeks to have contingent communication, and it's expecting it. So can you imagine if I'm expecting a phone call and I wait for it, it never comes? I'm going to have emotions. The same thing goes for this attachment system. So it's a serious deal. When trauma memory comes up for people who don't have secure attachment, it brings up a lot of stuff, which is why we have a great group of people that supports those people. 4D mystics need to stop talking about people as karmics, energy vampires, dark auras, and soul contracts ending in past and present. Like, get human about it and know that we all began with 0 years of age. So obviously, FYI, IHP, we don't believe in evil or the devil. No, believe is what I said. Others can choose to believe it, and therefore content isn't for you. Pure and simple. Energy is energy. It's straightforward. Pseudoscience lady here. I'm good with the title because I know a lot of empirical people, neuroscientists, and psychoeducators who can help people to actually live a good life, which is all that we're about. Inspiring human potential. It's the infinite, expanding consciousness. It's here and here and here. So when you have dreams, there's beautiful people who can explain them very down to earth. Right now, FYI, retrograde season. Why do we have specials? Because our relationships are very important, and creating mindful relationships is what Zen masters, those Enlightenment Soul Age group peeps, the lovely community we're building, are going to try and do to help each other to grow into functional adults and be in love with each other in compassion and to support.